Chapter 61, The Mere Immortal Sect Also Deserves. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Tiancheng ignored Yu Tai and Elder Lin, his cold gaze sweeping across the crowd. He paused for a moment, fixing his eyes on Prince Yu Fei. In Lin Tiancheng's estimation, Yu Fei was the only one in the entire empire capable of killing Yi Feng. His words sent a shockwave through Yu Tai and Elder Lin, quickly followed by fury. They were still puzzling over Yi Feng's absence, only to hear he was dead. What? Yi Feng of the Flying Feather Sect is dead too. Wow, this demon sealing conference is proving deadly to these top geniuses, isn't it? Something's definitely up. Murmurs rippled through the crowd as the powerful figures on the platform exchanged uneasy glances. The Flying Feather Sect was clearly incensed, and the loss of a top talent was a crushing blow to any sect. Xiao Chen, Tian Sang, and the others, poised to crush the Immortal Sect, hesitated. They weren't in any rush. They were curious to see who dared to strike at a Flying Feather Sect genius. In their minds, the Immortal Sect was nothing more than an ant, easily crushed and unable to escape. Chen Lai narrowed his eyes, having caught Lin Tiancheng's subtle glance earlier. He turned to Prince Yu Fei, who subtly shook his head, putting Chen Lai's mind at ease. Sect leader Lin, nobody in their right mind would touch your sect's top talent. Except, perhaps, for the Immortal Sect, purred the beautiful woman in the Taoist robe from the Heavenly Heart Sect, her voice dripping with insinuation. Ximenchueshue cast a cold glance at the woman, his grip tightening on his sword. She was deliberately stirring things up. The Immortal Sect. Lin Tiancheng frowned, the name unfamiliar to him. Elder Lin leaned in and whispered in his ear, quickly filling him in. Sect leader Lin might not know, but this Immortal Sect has also killed a top genius from the Azure Sea Sect and provoked the Sifang Temple. The woman in the Taoist robe continued, adding fuel to the fire. Her words caused Tian Sang, sect leader of the Azure Sea Sect, and Xiao Chen, master of the Sifang Temple, to frown. The woman's words, while true, dredged up painful memories. Did you kill my disciple, Yi Feng? Lin Tiancheng glared at Ximenchueshue and the others, his eyes flashing with cold light. Despite a flicker of surprise, a dark horse had emerged at this demon sealing conference. He was incensed. Daring to touch the Flying Feather Sect's top talent meant certain death, no matter how remarkable they were. Meanwhile, Wang Feng had just led Yi Muqing and Zhong Feng out of the ancient land of the gods when the system's icy voice echoed in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for triggering the elite mission. Teach the three major sects, Flying Feather Sect, Azure Sea Sect, and Sifang Temple, a lesson for coming to cause trouble. Reward for completing the task, 1 special summon, 2 random summons, Heavenly Soul Pill. Wang Feng's eyes sharpened. This time, he'd show the Empire the true power of his Immortal Sect. However, even with Ximenchueshue and the others being powerful, they might be overwhelmed by the 3 top sections. Unaware of the events unfolding in Shenlin City, Wang Feng knew that truly shocking the world required more power than he currently possessed. System, spend 10,000 sect points to upgrade the system level. Wang Feng decided, his mind racing. He had initially planned to upgrade the sect level after recruiting all the disciples, but time was of the essence, forcing him to upgrade the system first to then raise the sect level. Ding! Congratulations to the host for upgrading the system to level 2 and unlocking the fusion mechanism. The system can combine 5 random summoning opportunities into a high-level summoning opportunity. Powerhouses summoned through advanced summoning opportunities will have a minimum cultivation base of the Xuanhuan realm. The system's announcement thrilled Wang Feng. Xuanhuan realm. Summoning someone of that caliber would make him invincible against the 3 major empires and cement his place as the pinnacle of sect leaders, surpassing even the empire. Unfortunately, he only had 2 random summoning opportunities. Otherwise, merging them for a chance to summon a Xuanhuan realm powerhouse would render the 3 major sects insignificant. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You can spend 50,000 sect points to upgrade the sect level. Do you wish to proceed? Damn it, the system was becoming increasingly greedy. Wang Feng's lips twitched, his mind filled with resentment. Half his savings, gone in an instant. Let's do it. Despite the pain, Wang Feng decided strength was paramount. The stronger he became, the more sect points he could earn. Ding! Congratulations to the host for raising the sect level to level 2. The number of sect elders exceeds 10, and the number of sect disciples exceeds 100. Additionally, the host can now create 5 additional positions. Wang Feng's eyes lit up. The 50,000 sect points seemed worth it after all. 10 elders and 5 positions meant getting closer to upgrading the system to level 3. Before that, he could summon 10 powerful figures. Sweet. Ding! It requires 100,000 sect points to upgrade the system to level 3. Please keep up the good work. The cold voice crashed over him like a bucket of ice water. Knowing the system's patterns, upgrading the system to level 3 would require 100,000 sect points, and upgrading the sect level would take at least 500,000. Damn it, how long would it take him to save that much? System, use 2 random summoning opportunities. Wang Feng ordered without hesitation. Even as he initiated the summons, he sensed a colossal threat looming. He hoped Ximenchueshue and the others were safe, otherwise. Ding! Congratulations to the host for summoning Wuxian Monk. Do you wish to view his attribute panel? Ding! Congratulations to the host for summoning Xiao Lang. Do you wish to view his attribute panel? View. Wang Feng ordered. Ding! The Wuxian Monk's attribute panel is as follows. Name, Wuxian Monk, Cultivation, Peak of the Xuanhuan Realm, Profound Skills, Unthinking 10 Forms, Xian Bing, Wuxiang Zen Beads. Ding! Xiao Lang's attribute panel is as follows. Name, Xiao Lang, Cultivation, Late Stage of Xuanhuangjing, Profound Skill, Deer Cutting Sword Technique, Xian Bing, Deer Cutting Knife. Wang Feng grinned, his face beaming. With these 2 joining the ranks, those 3 major sects would regret provoking the Immortal Sect. System, use 20,000 sect points to exchange for 20 lottery chances and draw directly. Wang Feng ordered again. While Ximenchueshue and the others were fierce fighters, their cultivation was relatively low. If he wanted to truly shock the world, he needed a lucky break to make his Immortal Sect known throughout the entire Shining Sun Empire. Ding! Congratulations to the host for receiving 1/10 of the Wuxiang Monk's cultivation base. Ding! Congratulations to the host for receiving 1/10 of Xiao Lang's cultivation base. Ding! As the system's voice filled his mind, Wang Feng smirked and commanded, System, directly instill these cultivation bases into Ximenchueshue, Yiguchen, and the Yin Queen, Zhu Yuyan. With these extracted cultivation bases, Ximenchueshue and the 3 should reach the peak of the Profound Emperor Realm. He would have 5 members at the peak of the Profound Emperor Realm and 1 at the late stage. That strength should be more than enough to deal with the 3 major sects. At that moment, the void in front of Wang Feng and the others trembled violently, causing Zhong Feng to tense up. He fixed his gaze on the spot, sensing powerful fluctuations. Bear with me. Don't worry. Wang Feng said, a slight twitch at the corner of his mouth, waving his hand. Under Yimuqing's curious gaze, a rift appeared in the void, and 2 figures emerged. One was a monk in a red cassock, with a snow-white goatee and curved white eyebrows. He looked old, yet his skin was as tender as a baby. His eyes were sharp but refined. The other was dressed in a wide, scarlet robe, with a lifelike ink dragon embroidered on his chest. His jet-black hair was loose, and his build was tall and sturdy. Greetings, sect leader. Wuxiang Sang and Xiao Lang bowed to Wang Feng in unison. Zhong Feng stared at the newcomers, recognizing them as masters, no weaker than himself. He suddenly became curious about the Immortal Sect. What kind of sect was this? No need to be so formal. Wang Feng waved his hand and smiled. Without further ado, he led the group toward Shenlin City. Meanwhile, facing Lin Tiancheng's question, Ximenchueshue opened his eyes and looked at him indifferently. He was about to answer, but a surge of power threatened to overwhelm him. The Yin Queen Zhu Yuyan and Yiguqing felt the same. After a moment to absorb the power, Ximenchueshue spoke. What if we did, and what if we didn't? Ha 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 ha. Lin Tiancheng erupted in laughter, his anger boiling over. Not since becoming the sect master of the Flying Feather sect had anyone dared to speak to him in such a way. Sect leader Tian and sect master Xiao, do you also want to take action against the Immortal Sect? Lin Tiancheng turned his gaze to Tian Sang and Xiao Chen. Of course. Sect leader Lin, while they haven't confirmed it, they haven't denied it. And at the Demon Sealing Conference, as the Heavenly Heart sect elder pointed out, the only ones who would dare to kill a Flying Feather sect disciple are those ignorant members of the Immortal Sect. Xiao Chen glanced at Lin Tiancheng. The Immortal Sect is hardly worth our three major sects joining forces, Lin Tiancheng scoffed, his eyes filled with disdain. Three top sects uniting against one force hadn't happened in centuries. Chapter 62, This Woman, the Prince Wants It. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing Lin Tiancheng, the two sect leaders, Xiao Chen and Tian Sang, nodded in agreement. Ganging up on one small sect didn't exactly scream courage, the surrounding onlookers were shocked. It had been centuries since the three big empires had seen anything this major, definitely worth the three top sects banding together. Still, Lin Tiancheng said, changing his tone, now that we're all here, might as well stretch our legs a little. They'd already made a scene and risked looking foolish, backing down now would make them a laughingstock. Lin Tiancheng then led the Feiyu sect experts toward Ximenchueshue and his group, quickly joined by the Canghai sect and Xifang Hall masters. The Yari Empire's three leading sects boasted hundreds of powerhouses, including nearly 20 Xuanhuan realm masters and 3 at the peak. This show of force instantly changed the atmosphere in Shenlin City. A heavy silence fell over the square, making many disciples struggle to breathe, their faces pale with fear. Even the heads of powerful sects were stunned. They hadn't experienced such intense pressure in years, some had never seen so many Xuanhuan realm masters gathered in one place. The presence of nearly 20 profound sovereign realm masters made General Chenlai, sitting in the front row, look grave. While these sects were a nuisance to the empire, their strength was undeniable. The Immortal Sect really stirred things up. More than stirred things up, after today, they'll be wiped off the map. First time I've ever seen so many Xuanhuan realm folks. Talk about lucky. Right? The fact that this Immortal Sect drew this kind of heat. Even in defeat, they'll go down in history. Just an arrogant sect, they got off easy. Practitioners on the square watched Lin Tiancheng and his group, hearts racing and voices buzzing with commentary. That terrifying pressure made them tremble. It was the combined force of hundreds of masters. Even those at the peak of the Xuanhuan realm would buckle under such weight. On the platform, Lin Tiancheng, Tian Sang, and Xiao Chen stood shoulder to shoulder, followed by the many masters of their respective sections. They moved slowly toward Ximenchueshue, savoring the moment. With each step, a terrifying power swelled around them. The combined energy of hundreds of experts formed a tidal wave, crashing over Ximenchueshue and the others. It was a presence, a force driven by 3 Xuanhuan peaks, nearly 20 Xuanhuan realm, and almost 80 phase entry powerhouses, invisible, intangible, yet enough to crush spirits. The beautiful Taoist woman from Tianxin sect watched from the edge of the platform, a smirk on her face, happy that the Immortal Sect she loathed was finally doomed. It was just a shame the sect masters' plan couldn't be carried out, and that bastard was going to die anyway. But then, Lin Tiancheng and his allies frowned. They'd expected Ximenchueshue's group to cower in terror, maybe even beg for mercy, but aside from a few pale faces among the Immortal Sect disciples, Ximenchueshue and his companions remained composed, sitting calmly in their chairs, showing no sign of panic. Where was the satisfaction in that? Lin Tiancheng, Tian Sang, and others assumed it was an act. Their combined power was immense. Even General Chenlai wouldn't take it lightly. It was strength that a whole empire treated carefully. If the Immortal Sect wasn't bluffing, it was unbelievable. Still, to put on such a convincing show, the three leaders exchanged knowing glances. Very impressive act, they thought, to stay so cool under pressure. Fine, they decided, they'd save the satisfaction for later. Those screams would make a sweet symphony. Just then, Ximenchueshue stood, calm. He looked at Lin Tiancheng and his group, pointed to the ground, and said flatly, "Cross this line, and you die." The line he drew was a meter in front of Lin Tiancheng and his people, 5 meters from Shimen Chueshue's group. What did he say? Cross the line, and die. Ha 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 ha. Lin Tiancheng and his colleagues stared blankly for a second, then burst out laughing, tears streaming down their faces. Their laughter echoed across the square, filled with scorn. Not only did the 3 leaders laugh, but their followers did too. They looked at Shimen Chueshue with mocking eyes, shaking their heads. He was nothing but a clueless fool. The powerful sect leaders and disciples on the edge of the platform also chuckled, shaking their heads. They suddenly felt sorry for the Immortal Sect. They were trapped in their own little world, unable to grasp reality. These guys are living in a dream. Yeah, acting tough in front of the 3 most powerful sects, it's like they have a death wish. That's pride without any basis. What good is it? Where did this sect even come from? How did they get so far in the Demon Sealing Conference? Has my Yuri empire really gone downhill? Quiet laughter rippled through the crowd. Everyone thought Shimen Chueshue's words were absurd. When our sect master gets back, these people are all dead. Insult the Immortal Sect, will you? You're just begging for it. Hearing the mocking voices, Ling Feiwu and Mu Yunfei's faces flushed with anger, and they roared. The Immortal Sect was their pride, the only sect they needed in this life. How could they calmly listen to the insults? If they were stronger, they'd cut them all down without hesitation. Li Tianxin and Monk Wunyan didn't speak, but anger flashed in their eyes. Although they'd joined the Immortal Sect recently, they felt a deep respect for it. The sect master had come down like a god in their hour of need, saving them. They couldn't stand to see the sect insulted. Unlike the others, Li He didn't say a word, didn't even get angry. He simply looked at the mockers and filed them away in his memory. His mental notebook already had a list of faces, people he'd eventually kill. I haven't heard a joke this funny in years. Just for making us laugh, I'll make sure you get a decent burial. Lin Tiancheng sneered at Shimen Chueshue, his voice chilling. Tian Sang and Xiao Chen nodded in agreement. It really was hilarious. Making them laugh that hard deserved a quick death. I'll give you a decent burial too. Sound good? At that moment, a voice like a booming bell exploded over Shenlin City, startling everyone. They all looked up at the sky. Lin Tiancheng and the other leaders frowned, searching for the source of the voice. Chen Lai, sitting in the front row, smirked. So, the sect master of the Immortal Sect had arrived. This drama was getting interesting. Too bad the emperor wasn't here. He'd be eating popcorn and watching with glee, which would please his majesty. The sect master's here. They're all dead. Hearing the voice, Ling Feiwu smiled, waving her small fist with confidence. Even though these 3 sects were powerful, the strongest she'd ever seen, she firmly believed that Wang Feng's arrival meant their doom. Mu Yunfei and the others looked happy as well. Though not as certain as Ling Feiwu, they believed Wang Feng could solve anything. To them, Wang Feng was a god. Under everyone's gaze, Wang Feng and his group appeared in the sky above the square. Wang Feng looked down at Lin Tiancheng and his group with cold indifference. Yi Muqing stood beside him, followed by Chong Feng, Wu Nian, and Xiao Shijilang. He's here. Either he saves them or gets buried with the Immortal Sect. The Taoist woman from Tianxin sect watched Wang Feng's group with a sneer. When Yi Muqing's face became visible to everyone below, the square fell silent. The only thought on everyone's mind was, could such a beautiful creature exist in this world? Even General Chen Lai's pupils dilated and his heart skipped a beat when he saw Yi Muqing. Lin Tiancheng and the other 3 sect leaders stared blankly. She was the most beautiful woman they had ever seen. Compared to her, even renowned beauties like Yinghua and Hao Yue paled in comparison. Yu Fei, the imperial prince sitting next to General Chen Lai, felt a fire ignite in his heart. He stared at Yi Muqing and declared, "That woman, I want her." His words brooked no argument. Chapter 63, Where is the Elder of the Immortal Sect? You are listening at NovelFull.audio. As the crown prince of the Shining Sun Empire, Yu Fei had access to countless women, but none truly captured his heart. Despite their unparalleled beauty, that changed the moment he saw Yimuching. His heart skipped a beat. He had thought no woman could move him, not even Li Tianxin, the famed beauty of the Heart Sect, whom he viewed as merely a tool, but Yimuching, he knew instantly that she was essential to his life. She had stolen his heart with a single glance. Yu Fei even believed his own father, the powerful Emperor Yaori, a notorious womanizer with the largest harem among the 3 empires, wouldn't be able to resist her. Yu Fei's eyes burned as he stared at Yimuching. She was the only woman worthy of him, the only woman he desired. High above, Wang Feng frowned, observing the men ogling below. He turned to Yimuching beside him and softly asked, "Would you like to wear a veil from now on?" "If you think I should, husband," Yimuching replied with a sweet smile, her eyes crinkling like crescent moons. Her smile captivated everyone below. It was like a warm spring breeze, soothing their hearts, like the sound of a mountain stream, cleansing their souls. The beautiful woman in Taoist robes from the Tianxin sect looked resentful. Another temptress, she thought, but her fate will likely be worse than Tianxin's. "Are you the leader of the Immortal Sect?" Lin Tiancheng asked Wang Feng, regaining his composure, his voice grave. His words snapped many of the onlookers out of their daze, reminding them that the 3 major sects were currently besieging the Immortal Sect. "And you are?" Wang Feng looked down at Lin Tiancheng with indifference. He stood tall with his hands clasped behind his back. Though he displayed no obvious power, an air of nobility surrounded him. "I am the sect master of the Feiyu sect." Lin Tiancheng replied proudly, standing stiffly. He avoided looking directly at Wang Feng, instead focusing on the figure beside him. "Never heard of it," Wang Feng said with a shrug. "A frog in a well is a frog in a well, and doesn't recognize the dragon of the Feiyu sect." Lin Tiancheng retorted, his voice laced with contempt. Wang Feng's indifference angered him, but he held back, knowing he must maintain his composure in front of the beautiful woman. "You said you planned to make a move against my Immortal Sect?" Wang Feng asked, his eyes narrowing slightly as he glanced at Lin Tiancheng. "What if I do?" Lin Tiancheng sneered, standing tall. He viewed Wang Feng as a minor sect leader daring to call himself anything in front of him. "There's no tiger in the mountains, so the monkey thinks he's king," he thought. "No, this Immortal Sect isn't even a monkey, more like an ant." "And you?" Wang Feng continued, ignoring Lin Tiancheng and turning his gaze to Tian Sang and Xiao Chen. "A mosquito bite might not hurt a tiger, and the mosquito meat might be insignificant, but the tiger will still swat it. A tiger's prestige cannot be challenged." Xiao Chen said with a slight smile. "The meat might be small, but it's still something to savor," Tian Sang added with a chuckle. The casual banter between Wang Feng and the others created an unsettling atmosphere. Sympathy filled the eyes of the observers from the established sects as they looked at Wang Feng. The disciples, however, couldn't help but think it was a shame about the beautiful woman from the Immortal Sect. "I'm not really one for grandstanding. I like to keep a low profile," Wang Feng said, shaking his head with a sigh. "But you're forcing my hand. I have no choice but to oblige." Half the onlookers rolled their eyes. Low profile, that who was it that started the Qinyan Pavilion? Who was it that sliced off the arm of Elder Guixiong of the Sifang Hall? Who killed Kangheizong's Feng Imo? Who killed Feiyu Sect Xifeng? In just a few days in the City of God, Wang Feng had managed to offend the 3 top sects, a feat unmatched by anyone in the Shining Sun Empire. Lin Tiancheng and the others exchanged knowing glances. "This guy's delusional," they thought. "No wonder the Immortal Sect is full of weirdos with a leader like that. Where are my elders of the Immortal Sect?" Wang Feng roared, his voice booming across the square. "Shimen Chueshue is here. Yi Guqing is here. Zhu Yuyan is here. Xiao Xialang is here. Monk Wuxiang is here." 5 deep voices echoed Wang Feng's, and 5 figures appeared before him, bowing respectfully. Shimen Chueshue and the others no longer concealed their power. Their Xuanhuan realm peak cultivation levels exploded outward, and 5 terrifying forces swept across Shenlicheng Square, as if a giant mountain had descended, creating immense pressure. Silence, deathly silence. Lin Tiancheng was dumbfounded, Tian Sang was stunned, Xiao Chen was shocked, the smile froze on Chen Lai's face, and the sneer vanished from the beautiful woman in Taoist robes. Everyone's mind went blank, and they trembled under the oppressive power, feeling trapped in quicksand. Barely able to move. An ancient sect. After the Qingyun Pavilion incident, I must befriend the Immortal Sect at all costs. Elder Qin Sheng, perched at the edge of the high platform, clutched his beard, nearly pulling it off. Elder Zhu Qin, however, remained speechless, her cherry-red lips slightly parted, her chest heaving with shock as she stared at the 5 figures in the void. How is that possible? Lin Tiancheng exclaimed, a hint of fear creeping into his eyes for the first time. 5 powerhouses at the peak of the Xuanhuan realm. What kind of terrifying power was this? How could the Immortal Sect, which came out of nowhere, possess 5 such powerhouses? Lin Tiancheng's exclamation snapped everyone back to reality. They all gasped, taking deep breaths. Hiss. Am I dreaming? 5 Xuanhuan realm peak powerhouses. How can the Immortal Sect be so powerful? Good heavens, I doubt any sect in the entire empire has so many Xuanhuan realm peak powerhouses, right? Terrifying. I thought the 3 major sects could crush this Immortal Sect effortlessly, but who knew they were hiding such immense power? The onlookers frantically whispered to each other, trying to process their shock. The more they had scorned the Immortal Sect, the more astonished they were now. 5 peaks of the Xuanhuan realm. Even the 3 major empires would think twice before crossing such a force. In the territories of the 3 major empires, a single Xuanhuan realm peak powerhouse was enough to qualify as a top sect. Only a few had 2, which was a force that could dominate a region. No one could fathom how terrifying a sect with 5 Xuanhuan realm peaks would be. Kill. Wang Feng stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at the crowd like a god, ignoring their shock and delivering a single, chilling command. Boom. As soon as the word left Wang Feng's lips, Shimen Chuexue and the other 4 unleashed an icy killing intent. The temperature of the square plummeted, sending shivers down everyone's spines and filling them with dread. Shimen Chuexue and Yigucheng slowly drew their swords, 1 inch, 2 inches. With each inch, the aura emanating from Shimen Chuexue and Yigucheng's swords intensified until they were fully drawn, unleashing a biting sword intent. Zhu Yuyan unsheathed the Yinho sword, and Xiao Lang drew the deer-cutting knife, while Monk Wuxiang sacrificed his Wuxiang Zen beads. The 5 surged forward like long, colorful streaks of lightning, instantly attacking the powerhouses of the 3 major sections. Countless sword energies poured from Shimen Chuexue and Yigucheng, raining down on their enemies. Xiao Lang unleashed a torrent of sword energies that tore through the void. Yin Huyu gracefully twirled her sword, creating black energy swirling around each flower-like strike, falling slowly and twisting the surrounding air. Wuxiang, without any flourish, hurled the Wuxiang Zen beads. They spun rapidly, emitting a golden light before disappearing, replaced by a single, massive golden circle that descended with tremendous force. Defend together. Lin Tiancheng's face paled. With no time to think, he roared and leaped forward, unleashing the full might of his Xuanhuan realm peak cultivation. With a flick of his left hand, a large knife appeared in his grip. Boom! The knife slammed into the ground, shaking the entire platform. He gripped the blade tightly, and powerful profound energy enveloped it, causing it to radiate an exceptionally imposing aura. Without hesitation, Lin Tiancheng slashed out, unleashing a terrifying blade that carved a massive, crescent-shaped fissure in the platform ground. Tian Sang and Xiao Chen reacted instantly, unleashing their own powerful attacks. The powerhouses of the 3 major sects erupted in a frenzy. Chapter 64, The World #039, S Most Respected Swordsman, Xiao Lang #039, S First Person. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Facing the 5 powerhouses at the peak of the profound Emperor realm, the members of the 3 major sects didn't dare to hold back. Nearly 20 profound Emperor realm powerhouses unleashed their full potential, unleashing a barrage of attacks that lit up the sky with dazzling energy. Lin Tiancheng and his two allies led the charge, their sword, fist, and palm strikes acting like three seasoned generals, spearheading the assault of the 20-odd profound Emperor realm experts. They surged forward, following in the wake of Shimen Xue and the others. Meanwhile, about 80 experts from the three sects, all at the entering phase stage or higher, knew better than to individually challenge Shimen Xue's group. Instead, they teamed up, with more than a dozen combining their efforts to attack each Immortal Sect member. These dozens were divided into 7 teams, each led by a powerful individual, and they advanced in formation. Boom. The combined attacks of Shimen Xue and his group collided head-on with the onslaught led by Lin Tiancheng, creating a deafening explosion that echoed across Shenlinqing Square. A terrifying shockwave blasted outwards. The powerhouses on the edge of the high platform were caught off guard. Their expressions turned grim as they scrambled to erect barriers to withstand the blast. Even Chenlai narrowed his eyes, swiftly creating a protective shield to safeguard Crown Prince Yufei and those around him. Panic erupted in the square as many of the weaker individuals fled, fearing serious injury from the fallout. Once the high-ranking figures had secured their own, they focused their attention on the epicenter of the explosion. This was, without a doubt, the most significant clash of powerhouses seen in the three empires. Wang Feng had already taken his place on the platform, shielding Ling Feiwu and the others from the blast. Yi Muqing stood beside him, with Zhong Feng positioned behind. Wang Feng had deliberately kept Chong Feng back, believing he could be more effective as a hidden ace. Chong Feng, from his position, was fixated on the battlefield. When Shimen Xue and Yi Guqing unleashed their sword intent, his eyes lit up. He knew at a glance that these two were far superior to him in the art of the sword. The sect master hadn't been lying. The Immortal Sect truly possessed more skilled swordsmen. As the dust settled, revealing the aftermath of the clash, the expressions of the assembled powerhouses turned to shock and disbelief. The 5 members of the Immortal Sect stood unscathed, untouched by the battle. Lin Tiancheng and the other 2 sect leaders also appeared unharmed, but behind them lay a scene of carnage. Almost 20 of the 3 sects' powerhouses were on the ground, groaning in pain, while the rest suffered varying degrees of injury. Only the profound Emperor realm experts had managed to escape injury, though their faces were pale. Lin Tiancheng and his fellow sect leaders exchanged grave glances. The power of the Immortal Sect was greater than they had anticipated, leaving them caught off guard by Shimen Xue's assault. The 3 of us will each take on one. You guys split into 2 groups of 10 to handle the others. The rest provide support. Although initially rattled by the Immortal Sect's power, the 3 sect leaders quickly recovered. After all, they were leaders for a reason. After the initial clash, they adapted swiftly. Despite only having 3 peak profound Emperor realm powerhouses, the combined forces of their 3 sects boasted a sizable number of profound Emperor realm masters. While the peak realm was formidable, they knew that 10, or even dozens, of profound Emperor realm masters or those at the entering phase stage could overwhelm even the strongest opponent. What Lin Tiancheng and the others didn't realize was that they weren't facing ordinary peak profound Emperor realm experts. Yes, the profound Emperor realm powerhouses of the 3 sects quickly split into 2 groups. The first was led by the Great Elder of Feiyu Sect, while the second was led by the Great Elder of Canghai Sect and the Great Elder of Sifang Hall. Trailing behind them were nearly 30 experts at the entering phase stage or higher. For a moment, the combined might of the 3 sects seemed to rival, or even surpass, that of Shimen Xue and his allies. Now this is a real dogfight. A great show. Not bad at all. General Chenlai chuckled softly, a smile spreading across his face as he watched the scene unfold. He'd been taken aback by the Immortal Sect's strength, but the reaction of the 3 sects had put his mind at ease. Lin Tiancheng was proving to be a capable sect master, adapting to the situation with an arrangement that could potentially turn the tide. Even Chenlai would have to retreat in the face of a siege by 10 profound Emperor realm powerhouses and 30 entering phase experts. How could the Immortal Sect's peak profound Emperor realm experts hope to withstand such an onslaught? Whether the Immortal Sect or the 3 sects emerged victorious, the battle would be devastating, a result that would ultimately benefit the empire. Which one do you choose? Just as Chenlai was secretly gloating, an indifferent voice cut through the air. startling him. He turned to see Ximenchueshua speaking. The surrounding powerhouses were equally surprised, looking up to see Ximenchueshua, sword in hand, addressing Yigucheng. What did this mean? Chen Lai wasn't the only one confused. Him. Yigucheng pointed casually at Tian Sang, the sect master of Zhanghai sect. What the hell? Yigucheng's gesture sent a wave of confusion through the crowd. Were they choosing opponents like picking teams? Their indifferent expressions made it seem like they were dealing with ants. Ximenchueshua turned his gaze to Yin Ho, his meaning clear. Giggle, this little lady will take them. Yin Ho giggled, gesturing towards the group led by the Feiyu sect elder. Quantity meant nothing against the heavenly demon Dafa. I choose him. Xiao Xialang raised his deer-cutting knife, pointing at Lin Tiancheng. In the realm of knives, he, Xiao Xialang, was invincible. This poor monk has a connection with him. The Wuxiang monk pointed to Xiao Chen, the master of the Sifang temple, speaking calmly. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Ximenchueshua and the others casually selected their opponents. Did they really have to be so arrogant? You're asking for death. That the actions of Ximenchueshua and his group triggered a simultaneous burst of fury from Lin Tiancheng and the others. Their power surged, and with a resounding crash, they blasted off from the high platform, creating 3 massive craters. As they charged forward, Yigucheng, Wuxiangseng, and Xiao Xialang met them head-on. Flying feather sword technique. Lin Tiancheng, gripping his sword with both hands, roared as he poured his profound energy into the blade, amplifying its power. Veins bulged in his arms as he raised the sword high, then slashed at Xiao Lang. The powerhouses in the distance watched in terror as a 3-meter-long arc of energy erupted from the sword, tearing through the sky. Tear. The blade left a trail of pitch-black cracks in the void. Hiss. Gasps echoed through the square. Lin Tiancheng lived up to his reputation as the sect master of Feiyu sect and a powerhouse at the peak of the profound emperor realm. This blow could easily kill an ordinary expert in the early stages of the Xuanhuan realm. All eyes turned to Xiao Shijilang. How would the elder of the Immortal Sect respond to such a devastating attack? To everyone's astonishment, Xiao Lang slowly drew his deer-cutting knife, displaying no sign of nervousness. He drew the blade inch by inch. The knife had been hidden in its plain, outdated scabbard, and no one had sensed its edge. But as Xiao Lang drew it, the crowd was shocked. Even Chen Lai's eyes widened in surprise. A single glance was enough to know it was a magnificent, peerless weapon. The blade, only about 2 feet long, shimmered with a crystal-clear light, like autumn water. The light of the blade was a faint blue, not particularly striking, but as it was drawn, a chilling aura of death emerged. Chong. In a flash, Xiao Lang fully drew the deer-cutting knife. Without any other movement, he unleashed a beam of azure light, like a blue rainbow. As this azure light shot forth, an indescribable aura of evil descended, pressing down on the very soul. The light moved so quickly that it was almost imperceptible, but in the brief moment that they glimpsed it, it struck the heavy sword energy. Bang! The collision produced a deafening explosion, shattering Lin Tiancheng's sword energy. The azure blade continued towards Lin Tiancheng, dragging a dark tail of torn void. Not good. Lin Tiancheng paled and instinctively raised his greatsword to shield his chest, channeling all his power into it. Boom! The blade struck the greatsword, producing a screech of metal against metal. Boom! A tremendous force slammed into Lin Tiancheng, driving him backward. Sweat poured from his brow as he staggered, each step leaving a massive crater in the high platform. After retreating 10 steps, Lin Tiancheng barely managed to regain his footing. Chapter 65. Swords are like flying immortals, people are like flying immortals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Tiancheng stared at the knife hilt, now stained red thanks to the force that cracked his grip. Disbelief flickered in his eyes. Who was he dealing with? He was the sect leader of the Feiyu sect, a top-tier powerhouse in the profound emperor realm. And he'd just been pushed back by a single knife strike. Lin Tiancheng had always prided himself on his swordsmanship. He believed only a handful of people in the entire Yari Empire could match him, yet, his prized swordsmanship had just been countered with a single move. The other sect leaders were stunned. Lin Tiancheng, the mighty Feiyu sect leader, had actually been repelled so easily. How was that even possible? Chen Lai, who had been quietly observing, shot to his feet, a hint of fear in his eyes. As a knife wielder himself, he truly understood the terrifying power behind Xiaolang's strike. It appeared simple, but it unleashed a breathtaking blade of light. This was a master who'd honed their skills to the extreme. Even Chen Lai, he admitted, couldn't have fared better than Lin Tiancheng against that attack. Was this the kind of strength that the Immortal Sect's elders possessed? Ling Feiwu and the others behind Wang Feng were beaming. This was their Immortal Sect elder, displaying such incredible power. Monk Wu Nian was also taken aback, but his attention was mostly focused on the battle between Monk Wu Xiang and Xiao Chen, the master of Xifang Palace. Sang Wuxiang, hands clasped, gave Xiao Chen a slight smile. Quartet fist, that seeing Lin Tiancheng falter rattled Xiao Chen, and he was now taking Wuxiang very seriously. He immediately unleashed his most potent move. He clenched his fist, and energy surged from within, pouring into it and causing it to glow brightly. The air around his fist visibly twisted, a violent aura radiated from Xiao Chen. He punched out, sending a massive fist hurtling forward like a miniature sun, blinding and awe-inspiring. The blow snapped everyone out of their shock from Lin Tiancheng's defeat, and their focus shifted to the duel between Xiao Chen and the monk. Facing the attack, Sang Wuxiang merely smiled. The sunlight cast a glow around him, giving him the aura of a serene and revered Buddha. Then, to everyone's astonishment, Wuxiang casually flicked the string of prayer beads from his wrist. The beads spun rapidly, emitting a brilliant light. Despite the speed, the string of beads flew like a laser, instantly striking the incoming fist. Boom, starred at a powerful shockwave erupted, shaking the entire platform. Had it not been reinforced with special materials and guarded by imperial soldiers, it would have shattered. The collision of two powerhouses at the peak of the profound emperor realm would have leveled a small mountain anywhere else. Before their disbelieving eyes, the prayer beads, after a brief struggle against the energy of the fist, shattered it into stardust that dissipated in the square. Undeterred, the beads continued their trajectory toward Xiao Chen, crushing the air and exuding a terrifying aura. What? Xiao Chen gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. He thought he was being cautious enough, going all out to fend off Wuxiang, but he never imagined the monk could generate such devastating power simply by tossing a string of beads. Boom, the beads slammed into Xiao Chen. Despite his layers of protective energy, Xiao Chen turned pale, his body arched backward as he flew through the air. After a few clumsy mid-air somersaults, he managed to land unsteadily, staggering back several steps and smashing parts of the platform. Ugh! Xiao Chen coughed up blood, his body trembling, and his eyes reflected pure fear as he looked back at Monk Wuxiang. Whoa! A collective gasp swept through the crowd. Their eyes widened in horror. Xiao Chen was the leader of Xifang Palace. While not quite on par with Lin Tiancheng, he was still a formidable peak-level Xuanhuan realm master. Now, he'd been wounded by Wuxiang's casual attack. What kind of monster sect was the Immortal Sect? Were all their elders this strong? Among the crowd, a monk who had been communicating with Wunyan bowed respectfully toward Wuxiang. In Buddhist teachings, he had never been a follower. He thought Wuxiang was more powerful than their leader. Wunyan, standing behind Wang Feng, had stars in his eyes. He hadn't made the wrong choice. The Immortal Sect was truly the perfect fit for him. Chen Lai's brow furrowed. This Immortal Sect would likely become a major thorn in the Emperor's side. No way. I don't believe you're that strong. Xiao Chen roared, energy erupting around him. He was hurt, but not critically, and he was still ready to fight. He channeled his energy into his fists, transforming into a raging lion and launching a furious assault on Wuxiang. Wuxiang retrieved his prayer beads and floated forward. In contrast to Xiao Chen's wildness, Wuxiang remained serene, his figure radiating an almost tangible Buddha-like light. Meanwhile, Lin Tiancheng also exploded in fury. He would not accept defeat. Grasping his sword, he poured all his strength into it, becoming a blur as he charged at Xiao Lang. These two clashes captivated the audience. However, the duel between Yigucheng and the sect master of Zhanghai sect also stirred considerable excitement. The crowd was thinking, there was just too much to see. These were battles between peak profound emperor realm powerhouses. Such events were rare, maybe once every decade, but now they were witnessing a spectacle that left them awestruck and trembling. Yigucheng stood calmly with his sword, regarding the sect master of Zhanghai sect, who eyed Yigucheng warily. The defeats of Lin Tiancheng and Xiao Chen had made Tianzong uneasy. The normally jovial fat man looked grim. Despite being a powerhouse on par with Lin Tiancheng and ahead of Xiao Chen, he knew the Immortal Sect was something extraordinary. He couldn't afford to be careless. "Let's go," Tianzong yelled, his voice echoing across the square and capturing everyone's attention. It seemed to be a battle cry for himself, as well as a warning to Yigucheng. As his shout faded, a tremendous energy surged from his fleshy body. He seemed to inflate slightly, growing even rounder. He extended his hands, his chubby fingers now crackling with energy, emitting a brilliant blue light. 9 waves of fury, Tianzong roared, unleashing 8 consecutive palm strikes, building up to a final, 9th blow. The 9 strikes stacked upon each other like ocean waves, converging into a massive palm that hurtled toward Yigucheng. The entire sequence, from the shout to the final strike, was lightning fast. While many were still reeling from Tianzong's roar, the man had already unleashed his palm. The strike rippled like a wave, causing many to gasp. Well, looks like Sect Master Tian is going straight for Zhanghaizong's most powerful technique. After watching Sect Masters Lin and Xiao go down, he probably realized he couldn't take it easy and had to go all out. I wonder if the Immortal Sect Elder can handle this attack. I doubt it. The other elders are already fighting Sect Masters Lin and Xiao. I bet this one won't be able to stop Sect Master Tian. You never know, the Immortal Sect is so strange. Who would have thought they'd have 5 peak Xuanhuan realm powerhouses? As Tianzong launched his strike, everyone watched, whispering amongst themselves. The palm was within 5 meters of Yigucheng, and the impact was so powerful it cracked the air. Then, Yigucheng moved. His slender hand closed on his sword. A flash of light blinded everyone for a moment. When they looked again, Yigucheng's hand was back on the hilt, as if the sword had never left its sheath, but everyone knew Yigucheng had drawn his weapon. He was just too fast to see. The reason for this certainty was a beam of light, bright and fast, carrying a cold, bone-chilling energy. It was like a bolt from the heavens, like a rainbow streaking across the sky. The sword was deadly. Tianzong was shocked. Chen Lai was shocked. Everyone was shocked. Chong Feng, standing behind Wang Feng, was shaking. His eyes were glued to the sword, with near religious fervor. This was the pinnacle of swordsmanship, fluid and unpredictable. In an instant, the sword met Tianzong's palm. And before their eyes, the palm exploded. Chapter 66, Like a Shadow, Unforgettable in a Lifetime. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When that sword shattered Tianzong's palms, his followers were stunned. They couldn't believe his strongest defense had been sliced through so easily. He was the sect master of the Zhanghai sect, a powerhouse at the peak of the profound emperor realm, and not just any powerhouse. As Tianzong stood there dumbfounded, the sword's force slammed into his shoulder. A third of his body, including his right arm, went flying, landing several feet away. Blood sprayed everywhere, staining a corner of the platform crimson. Ayakak! A blood-curdling scream echoed across the platform. It sent shivers down everyone's spines. Fear flashed in their eyes, and their bodies froze. They stared, transfixed, at the white-clad figure in the sky. At that moment, he was like a god descended, radiating power. Even Chen Lai, an imperial general, a man of immense power, trembled with fear. Words couldn't describe the swordsmanship. Even masters of the blade couldn't fathom its mysteries. It was like something otherworldly, completely incomprehensible. Instead of analysis, one feeling dominated their minds: that sword is incredible. It's so powerful. Tianzong's screams also startled Lin Tiancheng and Xiao Chen, who were battling Wuxiangzong and Xiao Lang. Xiao Chen, the weakest of the two, felt a cold dread creep into his bones. If even Tian Sang couldn't stop that sword, how could he possibly stand a chance? They'd originally looked down on the Immortal Sect, but now the Immortal Sect had them pinned, their faces ground into the dirt. Who could have imagined that these three major sects of the Shining Sun Empire would be besieged by a single sect and absolutely hammered? How is this possible? Are all the elders of the Immortal Sect this strong? This is terrifying. The Immortal Sect will become famous throughout the land. That the leaders of the various sects on the platform snapped out of their stupor and began whispering to each other, their voices filled with awe. One powerful sect leader said gravely, "That sword, it's likely unmatched, a sword beyond mortal comprehension." That everyone nodded in agreement. A single strike sheared off the arm of a profound sovereign realm powerhouse and left him gravely injured. A blow with such immense power could probably take down the rulers of the three major empires. Ayakak. But just as they were reeling from that, another series of screams erupted, causing everyone to jump. They frantically searched for the source, and their eyes fell on a scene of carnage. Shimen Chueshue's sword remained unsheathed, a blur in the crowd of Canghai Sect's elders, each flicker cutting down an enemy. In moments, dozens of elite fighters from the three major sects lay butchered. The platform ran red with blood, the stench so strong that some of the weaker disciples began vomiting. But what horrified everyone the most was the sight of the Immortal Sect's beautiful elder, a counterpoint to the carnage caused by Shimen Chueshue. This woman seemed to dance as she moved through the Yi-Fei sect, striking with white hands. The bodies of her targets fell to the ground, smiles on their faces even as their minds had been erased. That bizarre and terrifying scene sent shivers down the spines of everyone on the platform. This elder of the Immortal Sect is off the charts. They're all monsters, not ordinary people. Though the battles raged, many knew how it would end. The three major sects were simply no match for the Immortal Sect. Even if they weren't completely annihilated, they'd be crippled. After today, the end would be near for these three major sects. If the Immortal Sect didn't finish them off, other sects or empires would jump at the chance to kick them while they were down. Seeing their people slaughtered by Shimen Chueshue and Queen Yin, both Lin Tiancheng and Xiao Chen were blinded by rage. "You're asking for it," Lin Tiancheng roared, and his aura intensified. His blade exploded with power and came down on Xiao Lang. Then, without hesitation, Lin Tiancheng turned and charged toward Wang Feng. Lin Tiancheng knew that at this rate, even if the Feiyu sect wasn't completely destroyed, it would be finished. So, even if he died, he would drag Wang Feng down with him. The elders of the Immortal Sect were terrifying, but Wang Feng was young and hadn't shown much. Lin Tiancheng thought he had a chance. If he killed Wang Feng or took him hostage, the Feiyu sect might survive this disaster. With this in mind, Lin Tiancheng moved even faster, reaching Wang Feng and raising his blade above his head, ready to strike. Xiao Lang simply watched. He didn't step in to help Wang Feng. In his mind, he was thinking, this guy really wants to die if he is going after the sect master. On the platform, everyone except the two elders of Qinyun Pavilion were shocked. They thought Wang Feng was dead. Wang Feng had never shown any power since the establishment of the Immortal Sect. Seeing his youth, it was obvious that his strength couldn't be that great. That's right. Killing the sect master of the Immortal Sect will prevent them from establishing any dominance. Lin Tiancheng did a good thing. Maybe His Majesty will show mercy if he becomes our lackey. Chen Lai smirked, thinking to himself, die. That the beautiful woman in Taoist robes from Tianxin sect glared at Wang Feng, as if she was watching him being cut in half. She was terrified of the Immortal Sect and full of resentment. Your Immortal Sect may be strong, but if I kill you, it's finished. Lin Tiancheng screamed, his blade glowing with light. Facing the attack, Wang Feng remained calm, simply standing there. It looked as if he were frozen in fear, or anyone else would have been frozen in fear against such an attack. Wang Feng casually raised two fingers and easily caught the blade. How? Lin Tiancheng was speechless, his smile frozen. A chill ran down his spine. Boom! Wang Feng flicked his fingers, sending a terrifying force through the blade and into Lin Tiancheng. Lin Tiancheng went flying, crashing into the platform and creating a crater. I must be dreaming. Really? Two fingers caught the full-force attack of a profound sovereign realm powerhouse. What is happening to this world? That everyone was stunned, unsure of what to believe. Chen Lai and Crown Prince Yufei exchanged glances, each feeling a wave of terror. The beautiful woman in Taoist robes from Tianxin sect cowered in the crowd, terrified. Xiao Chen, in the middle of his fight with monk Wuxiang, saw the scene and turned to flee, his clan forgotten. Donor, let this monk send you to the land of bliss to serve Buddha. But just as Xiao Chen reached the edge of the platform, he heard those words. Turning, he saw a light growing in his eyes, and then nothing. Xiao Chen's body crashed to the ground, creating a hole in the platform. At the same time, Shimen Chuexue and Queen Yin ended their battles. Queen Yin moved gracefully toward Wang Feng, a satisfied smile on her face. Shimen Chuexue stood, a god of death returning from hell. A river of blood flowed behind him, yet his white robes remained untouched. Silence descended on Shenlicheng Square, except for the screams of Tian Sang, the sect master of the Zhanghai sect. There was no sound. Every sect leader and disciple on the platform held their breath, afraid of provoking the Immortal Sect. They used to be terrifying figures, but now they were terrified. Those 5 figures were forever burned into their minds. Chen Lai and Crown Prince Yufei instinctively held their breath. They didn't realize it, but it was a natural response to fear. Chapter 67, This Flea is Buried in Winter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, listen up. Host just nailed that elite mission, teaching a lesson to those Feiyu sect, Zhanghai sect, and Sifang Hall chumps who came looking for trouble. Rewards unlocked, 1 special summon, 2 random summons, and a heavenly soul pill. Sweet. Just as the Shimen Chuexue crew strolled up to Wang Feng, a notification chimed in his ear. Wang Feng grinned. Score. Not only did he put Shenxianzong on the map, but he also snagged some killer rewards. Talk about a win-win. Then his stomach lurched. The sight of that pulverized corpse on the platform, that thick, metallic scent of blood, it was rough. He almost lost his lunch, first time seeing carnage like that since he crossed over. Dude was having trouble adjusting, which was understandable. Back in the day, you'd be hard-pressed to find a broken finger, let alone a pile of body parts. But hey, this world's brutal. If people want to mess with you or your immortal sect, you gotta hit back hard, or you'll get rolled over. Wang Feng told himself that to stay grounded, he wasn't some indiscriminate killer. His code was simple: you leave me alone, I leave you alone. You cross me, you pay, big time. General Chen, Wang Feng said with a smirk, glancing at Chen Lai. Now that the show's over, think it's time to drop those demon ceiling conference rankings. Wang Feng's words snapped everyone back to reality. All eyes darted between him and Chen Lai, heads bowed. Silence. Who would have thought the Shining Sun Empire's top 3 sects would get smoked at the demon ceiling conference? Could be straight up wiped off the map. The power players present were etching Wang Feng's face into their brains. This was someone you didn't mess with. Chen Lai gave Wang Feng a long look, already picturing His Majesty having a sleepless night. Alright, the winner of the Demon Ceiling Conference is Li He from the Immortal Sect. Mu Yunfei, also from the Immortal Sect, takes second. And Ling Feiwu, from the same crew, grabs third. You 3 report to Yari Imperial City in 3 days to meet His Majesty. He'll personally hand out your rewards. Chen Lai's eyes flickered over to Li He and the others standing behind Wang Feng as he made the announcement. Nobody objected. They looked at Wang Feng and his crew, like they were watching a sun rise, about to light up the world. Nah, no audience necessary, Wang Feng said, waving his hand dismissively at Chen Lai. My Immortal Sect disciple doesn't need to meet him. The statement sent another jolt through the crowd. Did he just? Was he dissing Emperor Yori? Was this guy for real? The assembled powers stared, jaws on the floor. Sure, the Immortal Sect was strong. No sect in the Empire could compare. But that didn't mean they could take on the Shining Sun Empire. Nobody knew the Empire's true depth, but every major sect knew they had at least 10 powerhouses at the peak of the profound Emperor realm. And hundreds of thousands of troops. That army alone could make any group tremble. These big groups might seem powerful, but compared to the Empire, they were ants to an elephant, and Wang Feng was just straight up refusing to meet Emperor Yaori. Beyond arrogant, for sects like them, a chance to meet Emperor Yaori was a huge honor. The whole place would celebrate for days, but Wang Feng was just brushing it off. While it shocked them, it also stirred up resentment. Reckless. Crazy, and doesn't even know who he's messing with. This Immortal Sect leader thinks he's untouchable after beating those 3 sects. What a joke. Dissing Emperor Yaori like that? This Immortal Sect won't last long. You can't fight an empire. If you can't see reality, you're doomed to the history books. Whispers rippled through the crowd, laced with mockery. Insolent. Dozens of imperial soldiers standing next to General Chenlai roared in unison, a wave of killing intent washing over the platform. They glared at Wang Feng, every muscle tense. Emperor Yaori was their god, and they wouldn't stand for disrespect. Sect Master Wang, watch your mouth. Don't think a little strength makes you invincible. General Chenlai's eyes narrowed, a cold aura radiating from him. Next to him, Prince Yufei glared at Wang Feng, his eyes burning with hate. The woman he wanted was standing next to Wang Feng. Wang Feng had to go. Just speaking the truth, Wang Feng said with a shrug. No need to meet. And as for treasures? My immortal sect's got plenty. You couldn't offer anything we'd want. That's that. Facing the anger of Chenlai and the soldiers, Wang Feng remained unfazed. His casual attitude was pushing Chenlai to the edge. A soldier beside Chenlai, face red with anger, started to speak, but Chenlai stopped him. Chenlai was seething, but he knew the forces in Shenlinqing couldn't stop Wang Feng. They'd probably get wiped out. Sect Master Wang, don't get too cocky, Chenlai said coldly, eyes narrowed. You might not live long. This is cocky. You haven't seen me really arrogant. It'd scare you to death. Wang Feng chuckled. Chenlai just stared, no emotion in his eyes, like he was looking at a dead man. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the first hostile mission, winning the Demon Sealing Conference, with the disciples within the sect occupying the top spot on the Demon Sealing ranking. Task completion, 100%. Get the quest reward, 5 random summoning opportunities. Open the quest hall in the sect, the quest hall, where the hostile forces are released for the disciples of the sect to receive. The hostile quest can be selected by the host, and it will be displayed in the quest hall for the disciples to choose. This time, the host has dug up 2 top geniuses in total, obtained Tianjiao luck, and rewarded 30,000 sects. Kill 2 top Tianjiao and 10 ordinary Tianjiao in total, 1 Tianjiao luck, and rewarded 40,000 sects. Hearing the notification, Wang Feng grinned. If it wasn't for this mission, he wouldn't have provoked Emperor Yaori like that. But now, Wang Feng was hoping for more missions like this. When it came to holding a grudge, nobody could touch him. Alright, folks, see ya. Wang Feng smiled, bowed to the assembled powers and General Chenlai, then waved his hand. Let's roll. Yes. Ling Feiwu and the others followed Wang Feng, while Shimen Chueshue and crew brought up the rear. After a few steps, Wang Feng turned around, grinned at the crowd, and said, My immortal sect's always looking for new blood. If you're tired of your current sect, or if you're getting pushed around, come join us. I can't promise anything else, but I guarantee nobody will mess with you if you're with us. Then, before anyone could react, Wang Feng led Shimen Chueshue and the others into the sky and disappeared. That's low. Unbelievable. He's kidding, right? Dissing Emperor Yaori, and acting like this divine immortal sect is gonna survive? Get real. The assembled powers erupted in curses, faces twisted with anger. Trying to poach their disciples right in front of them? If Wang Feng wasn't so tough, they'd have slapped him silly, but, in their anger, they didn't notice the spark in the eyes of some of their own disciples. Whoosh, star, just as the crowd was losing it, a figure in white floated down. It was Shimen Chueshue, the bloodless killer. The muttering cut off immediately. The sect master said weeds must be pulled out by the roots. Don't forget, Shimen Chueshue said coldly. Then he walked over and finished off Tian Sang, who was pale and barely alive. He turned his fingers into a sword and struck down Lin Tiancheng and Tian Sang with deadly blows. The three major sect leaders were gone. Shimen Chueshua grabbed their space rings, then vanished into thin air. The power players shuddered. If this immortal sect survived, they were in for a rough ride. The top three sect leaders were dead. The fear settled in their hearts. General Chen, are you just letting these lunatics go? Prince Yufei asked Chen Lai, tone filled with frustration. Watching the woman he wanted walk away with another man was driving the prince crazy. He was the Shining Empire's prince. Noble. Powerful. And he couldn't even get a woman. What was the point? Your Highness, patience. These fleas will freeze in the winter, Chen Lai said, eyes narrowed, hinting at something more. A dark smile spread across the prince's face. Fine. He could wait. He'd let those fleas live a little longer. Chapter 68, Martial Arts Wizard Zhang Sanfeng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the void, Wang Feng and the group continued their journey. This time, Wang Feng opted not to use the flying boat for the return trip. It was far too flashy, not at all in line with his preference for keeping a low profile. After all, when you're powerful, even your farts smell good. System, activate 5 random summoning opportunities. Wang Feng said, eager to see what he would get. He hoped for a high-level summoning, which would guarantee at least one Xuanhuan realm powerhouse. With that kind of power, he could crush the Blazing Sun Empire in a heartbeat. Ding, the system detects a special summoning opportunity available. Would you like to combine 5 random summoning opportunities to create an advanced special summoning opportunity? The cold, mechanical voice startled Wang Feng. What's the difference between a special and a random summoning? He asked. Ding, a special summoning will yield a unique powerhouse, and an advanced special summoning guarantees a powerhouse at least in the Xuanhuan realm. Use 1 special summoning opportunity and 5 random summoning opportunities to combine into a high-level special summoning opportunity. Wang Feng commanded without hesitation. He was curious to see what kind of special powerhouse he would get. Even if it wasn't exactly what he wanted, it would be worth sacrificing a special summoning opportunity. With the Immortal Sect now established, Wang Feng had bigger ambitions and wasn't overly concerned about ordinary Xuanhuan realm powerhouses. Ding, congratulations, host, for acquiring an advanced special summoning opportunity. Use the advanced special summoning opportunity now. Ding, congratulations, host, for summoning Zhang Sanfeng. Would you like to view his attribute panel? Wang Feng's eyes lit up at the announcement. Zhang Sanfeng was someone he had long admired, a martial arts genius unparalleled in all the world. That was the perfect description of Zhang Sanfeng. It gave a sense of just how formidable Zhang Sanfeng was. This special summon was already worth it. Suppressing his excitement, Wang Feng quickly said, check Zhang Sanfeng's attribute panel. Ding, Zhang Sanfeng's attribute panel is as follows: name, Zhang Sanfeng, title, Zhang Zhenren, the real man Zhang, cultivation, peak of the Xuanhuan realm, profound skills, Wudang Jiangang, Chunyang Wujigong, Ti Yunzong, Mianzhang, Jintian Iron Palm, Itian Dragon Slayer, Wuji Shengong, 72 Wei Round Fingers Soft Sword, Shenmen 13 Swords, 2 Instruments Swordsmanship, Xuanchu Swordsmanship, Jinwu 7 Section Formation, Supernatural Powers, Taiji Swordsmanship. Taijiquan, Xianbing, Profound Weapon True Martial Sword, Special Skills, Alchemy, Alchemy Level, 9th Grade Alchemy Venerable, Score. It was absolutely worth it. Wang Feng stared blankly at the virtual panel. It was the most impressive attribute panel he had ever seen. After summoning so many powerhouses, this was the first time he encountered such an astonishing display. Zhang Sanfeng truly lived up to his title as an unparalleled martial arts genius. And this was only because of the limitations of the world where Zhang Sanfeng originated. Wang Feng was convinced that in this world, Zhang Sanfeng's achievements would be even greater, especially as a 9th grade alchemy sage. The masters of the 3 empires would have to show respect, right? System, what's the difference between supernatural powers and profound skills? Wang Feng asked, snapping out of his daze. Ding, supernatural powers are martial arts that have evolved from profound skills to their ultimate form. Even the lowest level supernatural power is far superior to any profound skill. Note, Taijiquan and Taiji swordsmanship are Zhang Sanfeng's original supernatural powers, perfectly suited to him. These two supernatural powers, when wielded by Zhang Sanfeng, unleash maximum power, making his combat strength far exceed the peak of the Xuanhuan realm. When Zhang Sanfeng uses these two supernatural powers, he can briefly contend with powerhouses in the early stages of the profound Emperor realm. Wang Feng was stunned once more. His body trembled slightly. This was the first time he felt like he had truly hit the jackpot. Awesome. Wang Feng finally managed to say, he was now eagerly anticipating Zhang Sanfeng's arrival. The Yaori Empire and its emperor were nothing but trash in front of Zhang Sanfeng. Sect Master, does the Immortal Sect have official sect attire? Just as Wang Feng was marveling at Zhang Sanfeng, Mu Yunfei spoke up. Sect attire? Yes, Sect Master. Have you noticed that all the major sects at this Demon Sealing Conference have uniform sect costumes? It allows people to instantly identify which sect a disciple belongs to. A sect's image isn't just the strength of its powerhouses but also its clothing and base of operations, Mu Yunfei stated matter-of-factly, as if it was common knowledge. You're very observant, Wang Feng complimented Mu Yunfei. He hadn't considered it before, but Mu Yunfei's point was valid. Having uniform sect attire would give them their own unique style. System, do you have any sect attire for sale? Wang Feng inquired internally. Only the system could provide something truly suitable for his immortal sect, something with a style unmatched by the sects in this world. Ding, the following martial arts costumes are available. Please select from the options below. Yunlong Taoist Robe, 10,000 low-grade profound stones per set, grade automatically adjusts to match the disciple's cultivation, 1 level higher. Xueyut Xing Yi, 10,000 low-grade profound stones per set, grade automatically adjusts to match the disciple's cultivation, 1 level higher. A virtual panel appeared before Wang Feng, displaying dozens of exquisite costumes. He nodded in satisfaction. Relying on the system was definitely the right choice. Looking at the panel, Wang Feng felt like he was back in his previous life, choosing costumes in an online game, but now things were different, and he couldn't go back to those simpler days. System, choose the Yunlong Taoist Robe. Get 18 sets to start. Wang Feng ordered without hesitation. He was grateful he had sent Shimen Chueshua to plunder the wealth of the 3 great sections. Otherwise, he would have been too embarrassed to afford this. Ding, the host has spent 180,000 low-grade profound stones on 18 sets of Yunlong Taoist robes. The profound stones have been deducted and the robes have been sent to the system storage. 18 sets of beautiful costumes now rested within the system space. When we return to the sect, I'll distribute these sect costumes. 2 sets for each of you. Wang Feng announced to Mu Yunfei and the others, anticipation shone in their eyes. What would the sect attire of the ancient immortal sect look like? Shimen, Gucheng, Queen of Yin, I need you to eliminate all powerhouses above the general level from the Sifang Hall, Shanghai sect, and Feiyu sect. Bring their wealth back to the sect. Wang Feng's eyes hardened, and he spoke with a chilling tone. He believed in cutting the weeds and eliminating the roots. Since those 3 sects dared to provoke him, he wouldn't show any mercy. While they had dispatched most of their forces, there were still some left behind who might seek revenge against the immortal sect. He wasn't afraid for himself but for his disciples. The immortal sect's reputation was growing, and many would want to join. Eliminating future threats was the only way to ensure the safety of his disciples. Yes, Sect Master. Shimen Chueshua and the others responded immediately and vanished. Ling Feiwu and the other disciples watched them leave, shocked by Wang Feng's decisiveness. They didn't see it as cruelty but rather as a move that would shake the Yaori Empire once more. Qing'er, do you think I'm being too ruthless? Wang Feng asked Yi Muqing, who was beside him. No, anyone who hurts my husband deserves to die. Yi Muqing declared fiercely, shaking her fist. Even when being fierce, Yimuqing only came off as adorable. Wang Feng smiled, feeling content. He must have lived a solitary life for 30 years in his previous life to deserve such a wonderful relationship in this one. Ling Feiwu and the others consciously lowered their heads, hearing Wang Feng's conversation. The sect master and his wife were truly in love. Only someone as extraordinary as the sect master's wife could be worthy of him. They thought to themselves, *, starred at a soft sound echoed in front of Wang Feng and the others. Sang Wuxiang and Xiao Lang tensed up, their bodies rigid, and their eyes fixed on the spot where the void trembled, as if facing a formidable enemy. The sudden change also made Ling Feiwu and the others nervous. Could someone be hunting them down? But Wang Feng smiled, looking at the trembling void. The true pillar of the Immortal Sect was about to arrive. Under everyone's nervous gaze, a strong figure slowly emerged. It was an old man wearing a yin and yang robe, with white hair and a beard. He looked old, but his face was rosy and smooth. Ling Feiwu and the others gasped in admiration. What a divine figure! As for Li He, who was beside Mu Yunfei, his pupils contracted, and his heart trembled. He couldn't see through this person's cultivation. Even with his soul at the peak of the profound emperor realm, his current body couldn't handle the power, and he rarely used it. Even Shimen Chueshue and the others were transparent to him, yet he couldn't discern this newcomer's strength. Chapter 69, Sword Emperor Yen Dao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, Li He couldn't size up this old man with the air of an immortal, making Li He uneasy and causing him to be more cautious. Though usually quiet, he'd come to consider the Immortal Sect his own during his time there. Until he regained his peak profound emperor realm power, he'd always think of the Immortal Sect as his home. So, Li He didn't want anything bad to happen to the Immortal Sect. With that thought, Li He glanced at Wang Feng, wondering if the sect leader was panicking. But he was stunned by what he saw. Was he smiling? The sect leader was actually laughing. How could the sect leader laugh when faced with someone he couldn't even read, a reincarnated soul at the peak of the profound emperor realm? The sect leader must not realize how dangerous this person is. Li He felt a bit helpless. This was a matter of perspective. Zhang Sanfeng greets the sect leader. Not just as Li He was considering how to help the sect leader get a better sense of the world, a gentle, ancient voice spoke, stunning Li He. The very person he couldn't understand was bowing respectfully to the sect leader. Whoa! Li He nearly bit his tongue. He realized he'd underestimated the sect leader and the Immortal Sect. No need to be so formal. Wang Feng said with a smile, gesturing with his hand. System, assign the sect position, Dharma Protector Elder. Ding! Congratulations, host, for successfully establishing a new position. Currently, Guardian Elders are limited to 5. Let me introduce you. This is Zhang Sanfeng, a Dharma Protector Elder of our Immortal Sect. He just woke up from a long sleep. Wang Feng glanced at Ling Feiwu and the others behind him and said, smiling. Wang Feng's words shocked Ling Feiwu and the others, with Li He being the most shaken. Could the Immortal Sect really be an ancient, hidden sect? Li He thought deeply. We greet the Dharma Protector Elder. After getting over their surprise, Ling Feiwu and the others bowed to Zhang Sanfeng. Seeing their actions, Zhang Sanfeng smiled gently and extended his hand, using a gentle yet powerful force to lift them up, the peak of the profound Lord Realm. Feeling that power, Li He was completely shocked. Hey, honey, look! Just then, Yimuqing, standing beside Wang Feng, pointed toward the forest below and said softly. Her sweet voice made Wang Feng's heart flutter. He looked where she was pointing and saw a middle-aged man in simple clothes, carrying a grinning young man on his back. The young man looked a bit simple. Ling Feiwu and the others looked up as well, a hint of pity in their eyes. They could all tell the young man was a fool. What is this place? Wang Feng narrowed his eyes, glanced at the middle-aged man, and asked. Sect leader, this is the Water Abyss Forest outside of Yaoshui City. Li Tianxin answered quickly. Li Tianxin, once a top talent of the Tianxin sect, knew the Yari Empire better than anyone else, even Ling Feiwu. Wang Feng nodded. He knew the place. The Water Abyss Forest and the Star Radiance Mountains were both well known. the two major mountain ranges in the Shining Sun Empire, like two shining gems. By the way, sect leader, Yaoshui's city is home to the Xuanling sect, the top sect in the Yaori Empire. Because the Xuanling sect saintess is in seclusion, they didn't send any disciples to the Demon Sealing Conference. Li Tianxin added. Besides the Xuanling sect, are there any other powerful people in Yaoshui city? Wang Feng asked, narrowing his eyes, a powerhouse at the peak of the profound emperor realm, carrying a fool on his back. It was a strange scene. In Yaoshui city, besides the Xuanling sect, there's also a general of the Yaori Empire stationed there. Oh. Who is this general? This general, named Yen Dao, is a true master of the blade. No one in the Yaori Empire can match his mastery of the blade. Even Emperor Yaori praised him and gave him the title Sword Emperor, ordering him to guard Yaoshui city. It's because of the Sword Emperor Yen Dao's presence that the top sect, the Xuanling sect, has always been well-behaved and cautious. Li Tianxin explained, her beautiful eyes showing respect. Although Li Tianxin didn't care for the empire, she admired some people, and the Sword Emperor was one of them. As soon as Li Tianxin finished speaking, Xiao Lang's eyes narrowed, and he gripped his sword tightly. Does this person have any children? Wang Feng asked, glancing at the middle-aged man. He has a son, but nobody's ever seen the Sword Emperor Yen Dao's son. Li Tianxin said. Wang Feng nodded, feeling sure of his guess, and said, let's go take a look. Li Tianxin and the others were taken aback. What was there to see in a middle-aged man and a fool? They felt bad for the fool, but that didn't mean they'd help the middle-aged man. The cultivation world was dangerous, and sometimes kindness could backfire. Only Zhang Sanfeng smiled gently, his eyes filled with deep meaning. Led by Wang Feng, the group landed in the Water Abyss forest, appearing before the middle-aged man in a moment. When Wang Feng and the others appeared, the middle-aged man stopped. The young man on his back was still grinning, and the man's clothes were soaked, but the middle-aged man didn't seem to mind. He patted the young man's hand as if reassuring him, then stared at Wang Feng and the others with his weathered eyes. Even when he saw Yi Muqing, he was only slightly surprised, then went back to his old self. Fellow Daoist, it's fate to meet. Would you be willing to chat? Wang Feng asked, looking directly at the middle-aged man with a smile. We walk different paths. There's no point in talking, the middle-aged man said, his voice a bit hoarse as if he hadn't spoken in a while. Hearing this, Wang Feng shook his head and smiled. There are thousands of paths in the world, but they all lead to the same place. Sometimes, unexpected things are a pleasant surprise. That the middle-aged man looked at Wang Feng but didn't speak or leave. Ling Feiwu and the others stood behind Wang Feng quietly, wondering why he was so interested in this man. Does your excellency know the Sword Emperor Yen Dao? I heard he has a son that no one's ever seen. Wang Feng continued, ignoring the middle-aged man's attitude. The middle-aged man's eyes narrowed when Wang Feng said that. Suddenly, Ling Feiwu and the others tensed up, feeling like they were being targeted by something dangerous. But the feeling was so fleeting they thought it was their imagination. Only Li He, Xiao Lang, and Wuxiang monk looked at the middle-aged man, their eyes showing deep meaning. Zhang Sanfeng remained calm beside Wang Feng. No, the middle-aged man said hoarsely. He seemed uninterested in talking to Wang Feng, so he turned to leave with the foolish young man on his back. I didn't realize the Sword Emperor Yen Dao's son was a fool. Wang Feng's voice stopped the middle-aged man in his tracks. He turned to look at Wang Feng, a hint of coldness in his weathered eyes, dropping the temperature around them. Ling Feiwu and the others shivered, instinctively pulling their clothes tighter. They were shocked. They hadn't realized that this plain middle-aged man was the Sword Emperor Yen Dao. Young man, watch your mouth, Yen Dao said coldly, staring at Wang Feng. I didn't mean to make fun of you, Sword Emperor. I just feel bad, Wang Feng said, his smile gone. I don't need anyone's pity. My son may be simple, but he's still my son. Yen Dao said, glancing at Wang Feng. He lost all interest in talking to Wang Feng and turned to leave with the foolish young man. But then he heard something that made him freeze. I'm guessing you came to this water abyss forest to find the water abyss soul flower, hoping to restore your son's missing celestial soul, right? Yan Dao turned around sharply, a terrifying aura erupting from him. He stared at Wang Feng and said sternly, "How do you know? Tell me who sent you." Facing Yan Dao's power, Wang Feng smiled, waving his arms slightly, making the force that could shake any profound Emperor Realm powerhouse disappear. Yan Dao's pupils shrank. He stopped releasing his power, but his eyes were still fixed on Wang Feng. "I guessed, of course. Nobody tells me what to do," Wang Feng said, his hands behind his back, calm and collected, but inside, Wang Feng wasn't as calm as he seemed. He hadn't expected Yan Dao's son to be such a rare talent. Ding! I've detected a defiant talent who lacks a celestial soul. If his soul is restored, he could instantly become a monster, with a comprehension that surpasses ordinary people, making cultivation as smooth as water. That when Yimuqing spoke, Wang Feng heard the system's cold voice, which made him interested in Yan Dao and his son. The son of Yan Dao, who the system called a monster, was special. Although he was a fool now, he'd soar into the sky if he recovered. Chapter 70, Heavenly Soul Emperor Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even though Yan Dao's kid is mentally challenged, Wang Feng's policy is always better to kill a potential traitor than let one slip through. Any hint that someone might become an overpowered menace, and Wang Feng shuts it down. Seriously, his massive Immortal Sect can't afford to take care of a simpleton. Besides, this is a fantasy world we're talking about. Knowing the kind of stories that happen, Yan Dao's dim-witted son is probably destined to be the main character. Especially since Yan Dao himself clawed his way to the top with just one lucky break. No way Wang Feng was passing up that opportunity. Forget the kid, Yan Dao alone is worth the investment. Raising a fool in exchange for gaining a Xuanhuan realm powerhouse. Everyone would jump at that deal. More importantly, Li Tianxin told Wang Feng that Yan Dao is a loner with a strong sense of justice. That's why Emperor Yaori, despite Yan Dao's strength, shipped him off to watch over Yaoshui City. Otherwise, with his power, Yan Dao would be Emperor Yaori's right-hand man, with a position in the Yaori Empire no lower than General Chen Lai. When Yan Dao heard Wang Feng's words, his eyes narrowed. Wang Feng sounded like he genuinely believed what he was saying. Yan Dao was baffled. He'd never told anyone about his son's condition. Even Emperor Yaori only knew the boy was stupid, not that the stupidity came from a missing heavenly soul. Humans have 3 souls, the heavenly soul, the earthly soul, and the vital soul. Without the heavenly soul, a person's mind deteriorates, turning them into an idiot. But now, Wang Feng, a complete stranger, could see right through his son's state. It shook Yan Dao to the core. "If you can see what's wrong with my son," Yan Dao asked, staring intensely at Wang Feng, his voice low, "can you fix it?" Yan Dao had poured everything he had into trying to help his son. Even at the peak of the Xuanhuan realm, he was helpless. That's why he'd stopped searching for a cure. He knew that replacing a missing heavenly soul wasn't easy. If he, a Xuanhuan realm powerhouse, couldn't do it, who else in these 3 empires could? But Wang Feng had diagnosed his son with one look and even guessed he was searching for the Xueyuan soul flower. A flicker of hope ignited in Yan Dao's chest. The Xueyuan soul flower, a soul treasure from the Xuanhuan realm, was incredibly rare and could repair a damaged soul. The only place in the 3 empires where it might grow was the Xueyuan forest. System, is there anything that can replace a missing heavenly soul? Hearing Yan Dao's question, Wang Feng's eyes flickered, and he secretly sent a query. He knew that the key to winning Yan Dao overlay with his son. Ding! The heavenly soul pill can replace the heavenly soul. The system's voice rang out, and Wang Feng's expression shifted. The heavenly soul pill. Hadn't he just gotten one of those? Was this fate? System, what exactly does the heavenly soul pill do? Ding! The heavenly soul pill is Emperor grade. It's an incredibly rare pill created by absorbing the free spirit of heaven and earth and refining it to the highest level. Wang Feng was stunned again. He thought the special summon he'd received was the most valuable quest reward, but this heavenly soul pill was far more impressive. If an emperor-grade pill appeared in the world, the entire Xianlan continent would erupt, causing a bloody scramble. No one could stay calm around an emperor pill. Ding! To fully restore a missing heavenly soul, at least 5 heavenly soul pills are required. One pill will restore 2/10 of the heavenly soul, raising the patient's intelligence to that of a 6-year-old. The system's explanation made Wang Feng's eyes gleam. That was workable. If one pill could completely fix the soul, Wang Feng would cure Yan Dao's son immediately. After all, he only knew about Yan Dao's personality from Li Tianxin, which wasn't necessarily reliable. If he cured Yan Dao's son, and Yan Dao took off with him, he'd be screwed, not just losing out on a Xuanhuan powerhouse, but losing a priceless emperor pill. But now, since it took 5 pills to restore the boy's heavenly soul, Wang Feng had room to maneuver. He was willing to bet no one else in the world could produce an emperor-grade pill for a simpleton. With that in mind, Wang Feng smirked, looked at Yan Dao, and said, "This sect can help your son replace his heavenly soul, but what will you give back in return?" Wang Feng's words sounded casual, but to Yan Dao, they were like a thunderclap. For the first time in a long time, he felt a flicker of light in the darkness. Wang Feng's words sparked a small flame of hope in Yan Dao's heart. "You really can cure my son?" Yan Dao asked, his eyes locked on Wang Feng. A chilling aura emanated from him. If Wang Feng hadn't instantly recognized his son's condition, he wouldn't have believed a word. If he, a Xuanhuan realm expert, was helpless, how could some nobody dare make such claims? "What would I gain by lying to you? You're a powerful Xuanhuan realm cultivator. Would I risk making you my enemy by playing you for a fool?" Wang Feng countered, raising an eyebrow. Yan Dao fell silent. Finally, he raised his head, looked Wang Feng in the eyes, and said seriously, "As long as you can cure my son, I'll do anything." Yan Dao spoke with utter conviction. No one could understand the lengths a father would go to for his son. Even if it means betraying the Shining Sun Empire. Wang Feng asked, a smile playing on his lips. "As long as you can cure my son, I'll do anything." Yan Dao hesitated for a split second before repeating his vow. That was all Wang Feng needed to hear. Although Yan Dao didn't give a straight answer, Wang Feng knew what he was willing to do. "The Xuanhuan soul flower alone won't be enough to fix your son. Only the heavenly soul pill can truly restore him." Wang Feng stated plainly, wasting no time. "Heavenly soul pill." Wang Feng's words left Yan Dao bewildered. Behind Wang Feng, Ling Feiwu and the others were just as confused, especially Li Tianxin. As an 8th-grade alchemist, she'd never even heard of the heavenly soul pill. "The heavenly soul pill is an emperor pill," Wang Feng clarified. Seeing their questioning looks, Ling Feiwu and the others gasped, staring at Wang Feng in disbelief. "Emperor pill? Who would waste that on an imbecile? Besides, how could such a peerless treasure exist within the 3 empires? You have a death wish." Yan Dao exploded. His eyes turned bloodshot, and an immense sword aura erupted from his body. The aura was incredibly overbearing, causing everyone to tremble, as if a giant blade were pressed against their throats. As Yan Dao's sword force surged, Xiao Lang, standing beside Wang Feng, narrowed his eyes. The long sword on his back vibrated slightly, eager for a fight. A similarly vast sword aura rose from Xiao Lang, clashing with Yan Dao's. The air distorted visibly around them. Xiao Lang's display caused Yan Dao's crimson eyes to narrow. He shifted his gaze past Wang Feng to size up the swordsman. His instincts told him that this was a master, perhaps even stronger than himself. Just from feeling Xiao Lang's sword power, Yan Dao knew that Xiao Lang was by no means weaker than him, or even stronger. "Daring to trifle with me, even with such a strong bodyguard, you will pay." Yan Dao shot Wang Feng a look full of killing intent. If Yan Dao had access to an emperor pill, would his son be in this state? "I am not mocking you. In fact, this sect just happens to possess a heavenly soul pill." Wang Feng replied calmly, then held out his right hand. A pitch-black elixir appeared in his palm, etched with intricate patterns. A rich fragrance emanated from it. The fragrance seemed to amplify the surrounding trees, making them greener and more vibrant. Ling Feiwu and the others were even more affected. A single whiff of the scent made them feel stronger. They stared at the unassuming pill in Wang Feng's palm, greedily inhaling the fragrance. As the pill appeared, Yen Dao, who had been consumed by rage, froze. His eyes were glued to the pill in Wang Feng's palm, recognizing its extraordinary quality instantly. Even he, a powerhouse at the peak of the profound emperor realm, felt his strength increase slightly from the fragrance. Yen Dao couldn't imagine what he could accomplish if he fully absorbed the pill. Would he break through to the Xuanhuan realm? You're willing to give that pill to my son? Yen Dao stammered, staring at Wang Feng. His body trembled, and his sword aura flickered, overwhelmed by shock.